Good morning. So today I felt like pulling a law of attraction card. This is the one, and it says, instead of problem-orientated stories, I will tell solution-orientated stories. Now, what it's saying is that a lot of us will feed into the negative more than we'll feed into the positive. So, and that is a society thing. That is what society has taught us. Bad news sells. Plain and simple. Bad news sells. If you turn on the news, it's always something bad. You don't really hear anything positive really happening. So when I started my journey of mindfulness, mindset work and healing and positive reinforcements, I had so many people saying to me, oh, you're part of a cult, or you're a bit woo-woo, or you're a bit strange, it's a bit odd, because I was trying to give myself more of a chance with my own mindset, because I had so much trauma to deal with from the past, and I knew I had to get rid of it. I was sick of carrying this baggage through and through and through every single part of my life. And when I started to make changes, people started to get uncomfortable, because it made them feel like, oh, that's not the way it should be. You should stay in your negative lane and your trauma and everything else. But guess what? You don't need to. You don't need anyone else's permission to make yourself feel better, to make yourself grow in a more positive way and have a more positive impact on society and the world. You don't need that permission. You just need to give yourself permission and to change that narrative that it keeps on repeating in your subconscious and what triggers you. It can be done. It needs work. This doesn't just happen overnight. This is most probably a lifelong thing that you need to do. And I'd rather do that than sit in a negative state every single day saying, oh, woe me, my life is so hard. So, for instance, going to a chronic pain group. So I'm thinking, oh, I'll find other people who understand and get it, and I can just talk about life and how you have to grieve oneself because you're no longer the person you used to be before your illnesses hit. And, what I found in these groups was quite shocking. It was like a cesspit of negativity that just bred and bred and bred. So somebody would turn up and say, oh, I'm having a really bad day and my pain levels are really high and I just feel like giving up. Not one person turned around and said, I hear you, I understand. Please be gentle with yourself. They all tried to outdo each other. Oh yeah, I get that. My pain is so bad and I just want to top myself and, I understand that you want to vent. But when somebody is trying to explain how they're feeling and then you just add the fuel to the fire for your own ego, in a sense, you're not helping that person. You're making them feel like they're not heard. And you're not showing them that there is another way to maybe step out of that pain for a moment. You're actually reinforcing it. You're making them feel that, well, there's nothing to carry on for because everyone else is feeling like it. No, not everyone is feeling like it. You just have to fight your battles. You have to find ways to step out of that negative, toxic behavior that keeps on spiraling and spiraling and going in this circle of toxic behavior. And yeah, I have bad days, I have good days, but I don't let my bad days run my day. I breathe into them. I accept them. I've even named some of them. I've put an emotion to a name of my pain so that I can say, all right, painful Annie is out today. It's time to just stay in bed, rest, and sleep for a couple of hours. And if I still feel bad later, it doesn't mean that I sit there and wallow. I actually start doing things that make more of a positive impact within my brain. Because even though my body is racked with pain, I still have control over my mindset. And this is what I mean when it comes to positive and negative in society. We're quick to jump on the bandwagon with negativity and, oh, woe me, my life is so hard. But when somebody starts stepping away from that and saying, well, yeah, life, it can be tough, but I'm not going to let it dictate my whole being, because I don't want to end up being this bitter old woman, having jealousy for other people that are able-bodied or feel, are gaining things in life. We surround ourselves with people who either lift us up or bring us down. You have to choose what you deserve. Do you deserve to keep on being pulled down by people? Or do you deserve to be uplifted and made to feel like you are a positive force in this world? And you guys hear me, and I talk about mindset, and I talk about vampire soul suckers and negativity, but we can be our own worst enemy. We can victimize ourselves to the point where we are just a negative force that no one really wants to be around. And even your own mindset doesn't really want to be around. So if we can start making those changes and start slowly, instead of saying, I can't, instead of saying, I'll try. Why give into a negative life when you can make that change for yourself? You don't need anyone else's permission. You just need your own permission. I made a kind of like a pledge to myself that I would not be a victim ever again. Not to anybody else, and not to myself especially. So I started taking control of my mindset, and I started being softer and forgiveness and helping myself in the ways that I see fit, I needed, whether or not it made sense to anybody else. And that's what you need to find for yourself. What is it that you need to feel like you're having more of a positive impact on yourself? This is your choice. This is your life. And especially if you've come from trauma base, why still give them the power to carry on in your future where you're trying to be better? Now, I know that sounds harsh and it sounds cold, but coming from a trauma myself, it took me a long time to realize that I was still giving him the power to run my present day. And I refused to do it anymore. So I started to make those changes, just like you can, like anybody can. It just has to start, and it starts with you, not with anyone else. Start on your own positive reinforcement train, because you deserve that. You deserve to have a happy life, however that looks for you. Have a good one.